It really seems like the easiest thing to do today in gaming is to hate on EA, hate on Activision, and do this all because of their microtransactions, exploitive ways, and how they do pricing. I'm not here to hate on Anthem. I haven't played the game whatsoever, but what I do know is how EA screwed themselves out of a sale through Origin Access and Origin Premier. If Anthem would have released the same day as PC, I honest to God, strike me dead right now, would have bought it. I wouldn't have cared if the game was good or bad. I just wanted something new, something like Destiny, an RPG, open world, character based to where you level up. I'm waiting for Borderlands 3. So Gearbox, please, really? Hurry, vamonos, andale. But that's for another debate. That's probably my second most hyped game next to The Last of Us. Just did you know fact right there. I wanted Anthem to succeed because I no longer played Destiny. Destiny for me became too hardcore, and this is coming from someone who put thousands of hours into both of the games. Someone who raided every single day. Raided every chance they got just to have fun, even if I wasn't earning anything. Went flawless multiple times. And I can tell you, Destiny became too hardcore. The raids by the fan base just decided, hey, we're gonna make everything hard, and Crota's in Swordbearer all over again. One person is a one-trick pony. They're the ones doing everything. One person screws up, Swordbearer, you're screwed. You gotta restart. So thank you for ruining what I enjoyed in Destiny. But that's for another whole video that I already done, if you want to go check that out. We're talking about Anthem, the game that everyone's hating on. And I'm going to go back to Destiny really quickly. I enjoyed Destiny at launch. I personally gave it a 5 or a 6, I think, while all the reviewers gave it 7s, 8s, and 9s. If they're rating the game that good, and I enjoyed it, then that means that our opinions on what is actually a great game, I mean truly great, is night and day different. I enjoyed the hell out of Destiny. Apparently they enjoyed Destiny 2 a whole lot more, but me enjoying it rated it less. So if they enjoyed Destiny but hate Anthem, then I can only surmise that my review of Anthem would be like a 3 or a 4. A lot of people are saying you have a lot of stuff to do, but you're not focusing on what type of game it is. This is supposed to be a game to where your goal isn't to get to max level. I mean, sure, that's your goal, but just because you have 30 hours in the game getting to max level, it's supposed to be the end game that matters. 12-hour story to get to max level, who cares? That's not the point. But if you have more hours in the story than you do actual end game content, then you're failing at making the type of game you're trying to make. The RPG, open world, looter, shooter. You have Borderlands to where you have to farm bosses sometimes for hours and hours. The whole point, and I think people are failing to realize it, you're not rating this game on story. You're not rating this game on how fun the gameplay is. No. This is going to get the Fallout 76 treatment. You're not making a game you're selling the story as the coming of Christ. This is the best thing since sliced bread. No, you're making a game that's based on the end game. Point A to point B is irrelevant. It's what happens when you get to point C that matters. And so far, everything about point C is non-existent. Fallout 76 is the same way. It's an open world. Build your base, get weapons, do this, and they fail on it. If you fail on what your game is meant to be, then how do you expect to make any sales? And sure enough, if you saw the article, the sales right now, the physical sales of Anthem are 10% of what Destiny 1 sold on launch, or 50% of what Andromeda sold. And I'm no expert. I actually looked at this before I went into this video. Supposedly, Destiny made 500 million in pre-orders and day one sales. And then they sold 6.3 million units in the first month and made 47 million. I did the math. If you're making 47 million off of 6 million units, and this is rough math, I literally did it in my head. You're selling about 60 million units. With 6 million units, 47 million in revenue, that means that you do 12 million, you're getting roughly 100 million in sales. To reach that 5 times, you would do 12 times 5, which would then put you at 60. So 60 million units, I don't really think that's the case. Because if they only sold 6 million units in 1 month, that means that they had to sell like 44 million units after the game was released. Maybe my math is completely wrong. I'm 99% sure through the roundings that I'm doing, it's right. I feel stupid for thinking that I'm wrong, but the math just doesn't add up. But if that's the case, then I don't see how EA's projections for their sales are so low. Destiny turned out to be your demise. Destiny 2 sold less. People are learning that these types of games, they're not being released how they should be. You have to wait a year after launch, as made evident by Destiny. Anthem, you're being ruined by Destiny. These types of games, they're meant to be free to play. That's what they are. These microtransactions in there, they're meant to be free to play. I'm not going to say that Anthem's going to sell more digital copies than they did physical. Because let's be honest, no matter how many physical copies you sell, that gives a rough estimate of how many copies you're going to sell. Anthem screwed themselves over by releasing the game 1 week sooner. As I mentioned, I had every intention to buy Anthem. Every single one. I enjoy these types of games. I wanted to play this game. I wanted to enjoy this game. I don't feel like it will be $60 worth of my time. And then, yeah, you got those people who will be like, well, you can only watch a movie for 2 hours. And then, what do? I mean, it just ends up being a stupid argument. Because if you take Uncharted, for instance, it's probably like Uncharted 1. It's a 10-hour game. But one of the trophies is to beat the game in a speed run in under 3 hours, right? So my $60 purchase comes down to what is 30 hours of or 3 hours of gameplay. So by your logic that I get more playtime out of a game because it's a movie, it's just flat out wrong. When you strip cutscenes out of movies, you get a game that's about exactly that, 3, 4, maybe 5 hours. And in open world games, when you have to travel from one point to another point, you're not really getting gameplay. You're extending the game by having to travel places. I mean, you would think that EA would have learned when they released Battlefield 5. Don't release games on Origin Premier or Origin Access unless you're 100% certain that these games will score highly. The word of mouth will spread and people will tell their friends to buy this game. Instead, twice now, it's had the exact opposite effect. People have said it's a bad game, don't buy these games, wait for them to go on sale, and it backfired. That's exactly what happened with me. You lost a sale, and I'm sure I'm not going to be the end-all be-all to their sales. But I'm sure I'm a trickle effect in a long line of trickles. Each person who saw the reviews, they were apprehensively waiting, since physical sales are down. Physical sales are just that 10% of what Destiny sold. 50% of Andromeda. I was going to be a digital sale. That's what I was going to be. I'm not a physical sale, so don't put me into the category of a lost physical sale. And unfortunately, EA, they won't learn. They have to learn before they get better.